Listen intently, because once you absorb this, you will never perceive attraction the same way again. There is a specific behavior younger women display, something quiet, something nuanced, something 99% of older men never detect, that completely alters the entire interaction between them. It isn't outward flirting, it isn't transparent interest, and it is certainly not a chase. It is a psychological indicator so potent that once you recognize it, you will understand how many potential connections you have overlooked simply because you were oblivious to the silent language women truly utilize. I am about to reveal the specific conduct younger women display only when they are anticipating an older man to initiate a move. Not when they are merely bored, not when they are practicing politeness, but when they are genuinely and undeniably drawn to your essence and hoping you will take a step forward before they silently disappear. You believe you recognize the signs of attraction. You believe you understand when a woman is interested. But younger women function on an entirely different wavelength. And if you fail to tune into that frequency, you will misinterpret every interaction. You will assume she is just being friendly. You will convince yourself she is merely being courteous. You will tell yourself she is too youthful, too occupied, or far beyond your reach. And while you are consumed by self-doubt, she is observing you, waiting to see if you are the man she instinctively felt you were, or just another older individual who fails to see his own worth. What I am about to disclose will either serve as a wake-up call or help you realize why every potential romance that could have flourished slipped through your grasp. So if you are prepared to finally grasp the reality, younger women never express out loud, stay focused. Do not look away. Do not move on. Because the moment you comprehend this, your entire understanding of how attraction functions will be transformed forever. When a younger woman is truly captivated by an older man, she rarely shows it in the ways you are accustomed to seeing. She does not approach and declare her feelings. She does not offer blatant signals, and she doesn't pursue him the way she might chase a peer her own age. Instead, a much more subtle process occurs. Something rooted in biology, psychology, and the deep-seated feminine urge to move toward what feels emotionally secure. She becomes present, not loud, not overtly flirtatious, but simply present. And this presence is never accidental. It is a conscious shift in her energy that only manifests when she senses a man possesses something rarer, something she wishes to explore more closely. You will see it in the way she offers you her undivided attention. Younger women today are conditioned to be constantly overstimulated, perpetually scrolling, consistently distracted, and constantly half listening. But around a man who exudes maturity, emotional self-control, and grounded energy, her entire nervous system adjusts. She leans into the interaction and listens intently. She slows her internal tempo to synchronize with yours. She isn't doing this out of politeness. She does it because your energy transforms her internal state. You make her feel protected. You make the interaction feel significant. She senses a stability in you that she fails to find in men her age, who are often erratic, inconsistent, or unsure of their own identity. A younger woman's presence is her primary signal of attraction because presence is the most precious currency in her world. It signifies that she is inviting you into her emotional territory. That gesture alone is monumental. She is not watching you casually. She is analyzing your habits, the rhythm of your speech, and the tone of your responses. She is noticing the silence between your words. And what she is truly seeking is an answer to this. Does this man make me feel tranquil or chaotic? Does he provide a sense of being grounded, or does he cause anxiety? Does he carry himself with the type of certainty that can provide an anchor for me? Or is he just drifting through life like everyone else? When her interest is piqued, she begins to align with your rhythm. If you speak at a measured pace, she softens her tone. If you stay composed and collected, she reflects that. If you keep eye contact, she does not look away. This is not accidental conduct. It is a feminine reaction to masculine equilibrium. She feels the gap between a man who is simply older and a man who is truly steady. Many older men wrongly assume their age alone is the primary draw for younger women. But age without presence is just a statistic. It is your centered energy, your transparency, and your emotional maturity that create the gravitational pull. The tragedy is that most men are oblivious to these subtle transitions. They mislabel her presence as mere friendliness. They convince themselves she only sees them as a mentor, a parental figure, or a safe person to talk to. They mistake her softness for basic manners, and because of that, they miss the door she is holding open. They miss the moment she subtly moves closer. They miss the way she starts creating small reasons to interact, just to be in your vicinity. They miss the way she becomes selectively available only when it involves you. They miss the glisten in her eyes when you speak from a place of genuine authority, not arrogance. They fail to see that she is signaling interest through the most feminine, quiet, non-verbal language, attention. Her focus is not given casually. Younger women today guard their emotional resources carefully. But when she invests that energy into you, when she remembers the details you mention, when she listens deeply and engages thoughtfully, she is showing you something men her age rarely notice. She respects your mind. She respects your presence. She respects the experience she feels when she is in your company. She is testing whether your reliability matches your charm, whether you are emotionally reachable or emotionally guarded, and whether you lead with purpose or hide behind hesitation. But here is the deeper psychological truth. She is not just observing you, she is observing how she feels in your proximity. A man who soothes her nervous system becomes instantly more magnetic. A man who speaks with conviction becomes attractive. A man who listens before reacting builds immense trust. And a man who stands confidently in his identity without the need to impress awakens her fascination. When she feels that internal change, she becomes present because she is drawn to the potential for safety and depth. Presence is the feminine version of pursuit. It is elegant, quiet, and intentional. It is her way of saying, I am open to you, without ever sacrificing her dignity. She does not need to say it. Her energy conveys it for her. And if you are an older man who cannot recognize that, you will continue to lose out on connections with women who were waiting for you to notice them. Because the truth is basic. Younger women do not waste their presence on men they do not respect. When she gives you her focus, she is giving you an opening. When she becomes present, she is revealing her interest. And when you feel that shift, you are either going to step up as the steady, intentional man she believes you are, or you are going to let the opportunity vanish and prove you misread her entirely. A younger woman's presence is the first door she opens. Your awareness is the key. Recognize it, honor it, and act on it before the moment disappears into something she eventually forgets. When a younger woman is attracted to an older man, she begins studying him in a way that is nearly invisible unless you grasp the psychology of attraction. She is not just watching you, she is mirroring you. She watches how you sit, how you speak, how you handle pressure, and how you carry yourself when you aren't performing for anyone. And slowly, without announcing her goal, she begins to sync her emotional energy with yours. This mirroring is not a tactic, it is instinct. It is her subconscious way of testing if you are truly grounded or simply older. You see, it is easy for a man to appear confident for a brief moment. Anyone can fake composure in a short interaction. But masculine stability is not a show, it is a rhythm. And she pays attention to that rhythm. When she slows her voice to match yours, she is not just copying you. She is checking if your calm is natural or forced. When she holds eye contact instead of looking away, she is testing whether your gaze is anchored or anxious. When she leans in during deeper conversations, she is evaluating whether your emotional presence remains steady or shifts under intimacy. She mirrors you because she wants to know, does this man's energy stay consistent or does it crumble? Younger women have been around men their own age who are erratic, emotionally fragile, easily triggered, or desperate for approval. They know what instability feels like. They know what insecurity looks like. They know how inconsistency destroys trust. So when she encounters an older man, she is not fascinated by the age gap alone. She's fascinated by the prospect of steadiness, and she mirrors you to understand whether your steadiness is real or imagined. When you speak, she notices if your words are shaped by clarity or ego. If you are grounded, she becomes softer. She allows herself to relax in your presence. If you are insecure, she tightens, becomes guarded, and pulls back. Her body responds to your emotional state more accurately than her mind does. She feels your inner state before she processes it logically. That is why you cannot fake being grounded with a younger woman who is genuinely interested. She senses the cracks long before you mention them. Her mirroring also reveals something deeper about feminine psychology. Women respond to leadership, not dominance, but direction. And a younger woman wants to see if your direction is stable. She studies how you handle uncertainty. Do you react excessively? Do you freeze? Do you get defensive? Or do you stay composed and intentional? Emotional consistency is the currency that separates a man she admires from a man she simply likes talking to. And mirroring is her method of discovering whether you possess that stability. A younger woman aligns with your pace to see if it is a rhythm she can trust. If you rush, she feels unsafe. If you hesitate excessively, she feels unsure. If you fluctuate emotionally, she withdraws. But when you move through the world with quiet confidence, she mirrors it because her feminine energy naturally gravitates toward masculine certainty. She wants to feel that your presence brings clarity, not chaos. And her mirroring is her way of signaling, I am open to following your lead if your lead is worth following. But here is where most men fail. They misinterpret her mirroring as mere compliance or innocence. They assume she is just being agreeable. They assume she is being polite. They do not realize she is evaluating them far more deeply than any conversation reveals. She is trying to see the man behind the image, the truth behind the surface. Because for her, attraction is not about the moment. It is about the emotional environment you create. If she mirrors you and feels more confident, more calm, and more emotionally open, she invests further. If she mirrors you and feels anxiety, tension, or insecurity, she quietly steps back. A younger woman does not need a man who is simply older. She needs a man who is centered. She needs emotional consistency. She needs strength that is not loud but felt. She needs presence that does not collapse under pressure. And she mirrors you because she wants to understand whether you are emotionally self-led or emotionally dependent on validation, approval, or constant reassurance. If you want to know whether a younger woman is interested, pay attention to how she shifts around you. If her voice softens, if her pace slows, if her eyes stay on you longer, if her body becomes more relaxed in your presence, she is mirroring your groundedness. That mirroring is her way of telling you she feels safe with who you are, and safety is the foundation of feminine attraction. But that mirroring comes with a silent expectation. If she adjusts to your energy, she expects you to hold that energy. If she aligns with your calmness, she expects you not to break it. If she opens emotionally, she expects you not to retreat. She is not looking for perfection. She is looking for consistency. And consistency only exists when a man has mastered his inner world. A younger woman's mirroring is not just a sign of attraction, it is an invitation for alignment. It is her subconscious way of saying, if you are truly this man, I can meet you where you are. So the question becomes simple when she mirrors your stability. Do you stay stable, or do you break under the weight of your own doubt? Your answer will tell her everything she needs to know. When a younger woman becomes consistently attentive to an older man, what she is really doing is opening a window of opportunity. She is not chasing him, but she is making space for him. She is giving him time, energy, and emotional openness. These are things younger women do not give freely, especially to someone they see purely as a friend. But this space she creates is not endless. It is conditional. It is built on the expectation that he will eventually step into the masculine role she is leaving subtly available for him. And the moment he hesitates, the moment he becomes uncertain or overly cautious, the entire dynamic changes, because what she is really attracted to isn't the age difference itself. It is the decisiveness that is supposed to come with it. Younger women are not drawn to older men because of the number of years they have lived. They are drawn to the sense of certainty, direction, and emotional steadiness that older men are expected to have developed. But when she sees that the man she was quietly interested in is unsure of himself, when he overthinks instead of acting, when he tiptoes around his own desire, she feels a subtle shift inside herself. The spark dims, not because she stopped liking him, but because she stopped trusting his ability to lead. This loss of trust is silent, internal, and irreversible if the man does not understand why it happened. Younger women do not wait forever because at a psychological level, the feminine instinct is wired to respond to clarity. She needs to feel that the man she invests her attention in knows what he wants and moves with intention. When you hesitate, you unintentionally communicate that you do not trust your own value. And if you do not trust your value, she won't trust your leadership. Attraction is not just emotional, it is neurological. When a woman feels uncertainty from a man, her brain shifts from openness to self-protection. She closes slightly, even if she doesn't show it on the surface. You might think you are being respectful by waiting for the right moment or by overanalyzing every detail, but what you are really doing is creating doubt. Younger women are used to men who are indecisive, passive, or emotionally inconsistent. And when she chooses to open a door for you through her presence, her mirroring, and her attention, she expects you to show that you are not like the others, that you are decisive, that you see the opportunity, that you can hold tension without collapsing into fear, and that you do not need perfect conditions to move. Decisiveness is not about rushing, it is about clarity. It is about making your intention known in a grounded, confident way. When she senses that confidence, she relaxes into the connection. She becomes even more open. She becomes more emotionally invested. But when she senses hesitation, she interprets it as emotional instability. Because to her, hesitation reflects uncertainty, and uncertainty reflects insecurity. And insecurity is one of the most unattractive energies a man can bring into any dynamic, especially with a younger woman who looked up to him. And here is the part most men never understand. She is not waiting for you to be perfect. She is waiting for you to be sure. When you hesitate, she doesn't think you are being thoughtful. She thinks you are scared. She doesn't think you are avoiding being too forward. She thinks you don't believe in your own capability to lead. And femininity does not expand for a man who shrinks. This is why younger women move on quickly, not because they are impatient, but because their attraction is tied directly to emotional security. The longer you stay in hesitation, the more she loses confidence in your role in her life. And once that confidence is gone, no amount of chasing, convincing, or explaining can rebuild what you lost. She wasn't waiting for effort. She was waiting for certainty. You might think the moment you finally decide to act is the moment she will respond. But often by the time a hesitant man decides to move, the woman has already emotionally checked out. She has already concluded that he wasn't who she hoped he was, not because he lacked value, but because he lacked decisiveness. And decisiveness is the gatekeeper of masculine presence. So when a younger woman gives you her attention, when she creates emotional space, when she shows consistency, understand that she is not sending mixed signals. She is giving you the clearest signal she can give without sacrificing her femininity. She is telling you in the most respectful, quiet, and powerful way, the next move is yours. The question is whether you recognize that moment or whether you let it slip through your fingers because you are too caught in your mind to step into your role. The men who win in these dynamics are not the ones who are the most attractive or the most experienced. They are the ones who move with intention. They don't rush, they don't force, they simply declare their direction through grounded action. A younger woman will open the door, but she will not walk through it for you. Once she sees you standing still, she walks away. Not loudly, not angrily, but quietly. And by the time you realize what happened, she is already gone emotionally. A woman's patience is not a guarantee, it is a test. And a man's hesitation is not caution. It is the death of possibility. If she creates space for you, step into it. Because time does not kill attraction, hesitation does.